Hello, I'm Jude Scott and I'm going to start a series of basic tutorials for painters. So if you're not used to painting, if you want to start at the beginning, I'm going to do some very basic techniques for you. So the first one is tone. So we're going to start with the first 5 basic tones because that's what you need to make any painting or drawing succeed. It doesn't matter what medium you're in. If you haven't got a good range of lights and darks, your painting will lack punch and it won't be as successful as possibly you would hope for. So let's get started. Okay, we're going to do some tonal value swatches, and they're really important because you need to be able to have tonal variations in your paintings and drawings. It doesn't really matter what medium that you use, whether it's pastels or oils or acrylics or watercolour. You have to have a wide range of tonal values to give your painting some punch. Otherwise they look very lackluster and can look quite dull. So here I'm going to use some ultramarine, pretty thick, not a lot of water because I want it super dark to start with. And to that I add some burnt sienna, which is really great colour combination, and they certainly pack a bit of punch to your colour. So just with the tip of your brush, it's damp, soak up plenty of that pigment and put on your paper. And here we go, that's a beautiful dark pigment. And then for the next one, just dip your brush in the water, and we don't use white in watercolour to lighten the paint, just use water. If you use white, it will make the paints opaque and they won't look as vibrant, and they certainly won't have the translucency that paint pigment just diluted with water will have. And then just dilute it a little bit further, with a bit more water. Each square should be lighter than the previous one, doing this particular message format. And then the last one, of course, we leave just as unpainted paper, because in watercolour you'll never get as white unpainted paper. So the darkest is a number 5, next is 4, 3, 2, 1, and as you can see they've got a very gradual gradation. So this is very dark, lighter, lighter and lightest, and then we've got the unpainted paper. So practice that. It's really good to know how to have beautiful tones in your painting, and you should always have 1/3 dark, 1/3 to 2/3. So if you've got 1/3 of your painting dark, make 2/3 light. Painting's always yin and yang, it's never 50-50. So if you can remember that with your paintings, so conversely if you've got 2/3 of your painting dark, put 1/3 light in, and it really makes your colours stand out and your painting look very vibrant. So now I'm going to mix up some greens. So green is a colour I don't actually have much in my palette because I can make my own. So I'll do the same with a green. I'm going to mix up beautiful vibrant Prussian blue, and my pigments are Holbein pigments. So I've got Prussian blue here. You can see that's a fabulous, very, very vibrant blue. My brush holds a lot of paint, so I'll just squeeze some of that out. And with that, I'm going to mix some Quinacridone Gold, which is it's a synthetic gold. Anything with quinacridone in is synthetic. And I'll start by making this one not terribly dark to start with, just a mid-tone, but I'll be able to make it lighter for you as we go down the paper. You probably wouldn't want a green any darker than that. If you did, you'd just put more intense pigments, so stronger pigments and a bit less water. So then I'll get lighter for the next one. And you can see this is a very cool green, very, very cool cold green. So lighter again. And this is fantastic practice just to get your eye in for painting. You know, your hand-eye coordination is really important because watercolour's all about being right, having just the right amount of pigment at just the right time. So I'll just make that one a little bit wider. So if you can practice this, you will be far more able to just quickly pick up paint, put paint down, and also, you know, mix your colours. So there we've got 5 tones of the one green. So what do we do if we don't like that green? Maybe it's a bit cold and you want a warmer green. Okay, so here's our master mix. That's the original mix of green. What if I put some more gold into it? And we'll get a much warmer yellow. A much warmer green. So again, I'm going to put a little bit of quinacridone, mix a little bit more quinacridone gold, and I'll put some over here actually. It's going very dark there. I'm going to put some more quinacridone gold into that, and I'll start by trying that one. So here we've got a lovely, this is a very olive green, a very warm green. I think you'd have to agree. So a lovely green that you could use with all sorts of things. If you can't mix different tones of colours and also different temperatures of colours, you'll have a hard time mixing very simple things, say like a sunflower, because you have to be able to produce warm and cool yellows to be able to paint a sunflower. So if you can't do that, you will find it very, very difficult to have a sunflower that looks vibrant and that looks realistic. Anything that's realistic needs several tones, and it also needs pigments in it that are warm and cool. So I'll just clean out my palette. So here we have 2 different greens. One's very cool and one's getting warmer. So I'm going to now mix red. Now all my paints are Holbein watercolours. I really like Holbein watercolours because they're so vibrant, rich and strong. So this is Quinacridone Red. So that's the base colour, but I'm going to change it. I'm going to put a little bit of neutral tint with that to make it dark. So neutral tint is just really a fancy name for red, sorry, for black, but this one's quite, it's not really opaque. You can get a lovely look with it. And this very, very dark red comes in handy for the shadows in flowers, or if you're painting a red car, anything that's red, you need to go dark, just add a bit of neutral tint to it. So then if I want to have a red, go back to a red that's not quite so dark, add a little bit of water to your brush. So it's not as dark, and then add some more water to your brush, and then finally lots of water to your brush. So there we have different tones of, I'd call that a cool red. It's definitely not a cherry red, but we can make a cherry red. So what I'll do here is get some Quinacridone Red, gorgeous, rich, vibrant red, and into that I'm going to put some Aureolin Yellow. Now Aureolin Yellow by itself, as you can see, is very cold, but if I mix that with Quinacridone Red, look at the gorgeous red that we can get. So if you're painting flowers or any red objects and you want warm and cool reds, because where the light is shining on something is always much warmer than where something's in the shadow. So these here would be the shadow reds you could use, and this one would be where there's light on your subject. Maybe painting an apple, anything that's red. You know, you do need to change the temperature. So cool colours recede and warm colours come towards you. So for the part of a red object that's closest to you, you would have your warmest colours. So you have these reds, but these would be around the sides of the apple and they would make it recede away from you. Here we go, there's some reds. So we've got just neutral colours here. We've got a cold green, we've got a warm green, we've got a cool red, and we've got warm reds. So, and also they are all in the tonal value ranges from 5 down to 1. So I hope that helps you, and I'll do another lesson soon.